Hello, I'm Raki, energy healer, intuitive, and founder of the School of Energy Healing and Intuitive Development. And this is your energy update for 2020. I'm back again because last where I left off, we were talking about the month of June, and the month of June bringing in the energy of action. And as you've probably saw for yourselves, yes, it was very much a month of action, of us putting into action what we were thinking about, feeling, what we meditated on, whatever we were working on, that's what we put into action. Hopefully, it was on growth, on learning lessons, on ways to better yourself, but this energy is neutral, so it will be whatever it is you have within you that brings about these actions. So if you have been harvesting anger, resentment, you probably also saw those energies take action. Let me backtrack a little bit. Remember, we started new energy late February, early March. We talked about the energy of action coming in. It actually creeped in for about 2 weeks in the month of April. So if you could also think back of what you were up to in the month of April. And it was very much about ideas, taking action about the ideas you've been thinking about. And then it disappeared really, really fast. It lasted like 2 weeks max. And then it was very low energy. You might have found yourself dragging towards May. And then boom, June, we bursted into action. We also saw this happening globally. The energies always happen in a global scale, actually in a universal or multiversal, whatever you believe in, scale, because that's just the way it is. So that's why when I give an energy reading, it's an energy that affects everyone. It just affects everyone on a different level. We're all moving into different directions, and we're all at different levels in our spiritual, or not levels, but in different journeys in our spiritual growth. And like I was saying, this year of 2020, it's all about being able to see for ourselves that the energy is greater than us, that we really are one. So we see it happening in us in our personal lives, and also seeing it in our city, in our country, and the planet. With this pandemic and with the things that are happening around the world. And it does seem to not just happen within this little group that we are in. It is global, universal. So along with this energy of action that's happening in June, and it drags into July, goes away mid-July, only to come back again late August. So it just goes away for a little bit again. But right now we're also experiencing the energy of shakeups. And that's what I call it, because that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like things shake up. It always happens around the month of June, around the 21st of June. Well, first of the 21st of any month is always going to be special. But the energy of shakeups happen in June, around June 21st, or June 21st is probably the peak of it. And in the month of December, around December 21st, peaking around December 21st. And you've heard me speak about this before as well. Usually, the energy of shakeups isn't that intense, but 2020 is an intense year. So we're able to feel it stronger. What we are in right now is we're experiencing intense growth. So the shakeups that are happening, and I'll describe what that looks like in a second, are intense. So shakeups, especially for this month, for what we're experiencing right now, it will feel like you're being uprooted. Okay. So you may lose a job, and who is not being affected? Well, some people aren't, but a lot of us are being affected by what's going on with the pandemic as far as our jobs go. Uprooted would also mean having financial issues with our homes. So where we live or how we feel at home, or the security of being home, would also be shaken. It'll be changes, okay? So selling, buying a home, like I said, losing a job or getting a new one. Health situations also take into account. So going through a difficult health diagnosis, or getting sick intensely, or something just very serious. Or let me think of what is another good example, especially for my viewers. Okay, breakup of relationships, or miscommunication a lot in relationships. You may find yourself distancing from other people. Just a little bit of chaos, okay? And know that every single energy shakeup has a positive aspect to it. So whatever it is that you're going through is something that your soul, you as a soul needs in order to grow. So it has a positive. It may seem like it's a negative, like if it's something bad, it's not true. It's actually good, but you may not be able to see it if you're in the middle of it, right? But good and new things always follow shakeups. And I'll talk about the new in a second. They talk about it's not all bad. For example, it could be that has sold your house, or you've bought a new house, so you may not even see it as something bad. It's just change. And in the month of June, it may feel a little bit more abrupt. So that's something that the angels or spirit guides really want you to pay attention to. That even though it may feel a little bit difficult, a lot to handle, like, oh my God, I don't know how much I could take of this. Know that there's a new energy coming in, and you'll find a little bit of relief, and you'll be able to look back. If this feels hard, you'll be able to look back at these moments and say, oh, I've learned so much from this, or this came good out of that. This energy of shakeups lasts for another 2 weeks, so mid-July it ends. Of course, energies don't know about our calendars and about our earthly time. It very subtly leaves, and new energy comes in. And the energy that comes in would be the energy of the new. The energy of the new doesn't come immediately. It comes more towards, I want to say, mid-September. So don't be surprised if you start to feel like, oh, this is new, like a new year. That's how I always describe it, like a new year. More towards the month of September. And they say, some start as early as mid-August. So even if you're moving into a new home now, even if you're starting a new job now, even if you're starting new relationships, you're starting a new life right now, it may not feel like new, or it may not be your new life till then, because that's when the universe supports the new. So they may be a little bit chaotic now. You may be reorganizing, and the new begins then, closer to September. In September, there is an important date, September 7th. It's going to be a special date. The energy is very special and intense on that day, just like June 21st was. And I'm trying to pick up, it's the energy of the new that kind of intensifies and then carries us a little bit faster into the end of the year. But before we begin the energy of the new, let me backtrack a little bit, because a new or a different energy also comes in way before that. In the month of July, the energy that begins is the energy of consequence. And I don't know if you've noticed, but like I said, energy doesn't know of calendars and dates. We probably have already started to feel it. I'm doing the video a little bit late. It is June 28th. So we may have already felt it in our personal lives or with what's going on globally. So the energy of consequence, and I want to make sure that you understand it's not like consequence punishment. It's consequence, but it's a neutral energy, meaning whatever it is that you've been working on, you'll start to see the consequences, the fruition, the results of whatever it is that you've been working on. And we're always working on something, whether you are aware of it or not, whether you're doing that intentionally or not. Very specifically for this energy coming in of consequence, it talks about the time that we started new in March. So what have you been up to since the month of March till June? And what you've been up to, thinking, planning, the ideas that you've been thinking about, the kind of work that you've been doing, whether you've been working on yourself, on your growth, on healing, but also the stuff that you've been harboring in so also the negative energies. Not only did that burst in the month of June, but now you see in July the consequences of all of that, including the actions that you took, that burst of energy that you had in the month of June. So consequences in the month of July. And this is not in any way punishment. So it's not a negative thing. It is just simply how it works. And consequence always carries within it the bigger lesson. So if anything, whatever happens from the month of July, August, and even right before the energy of the new in September, whatever happens then, think of it, what's the lesson that I'm here to learn? What's the lesson that I'm here to learn? So you've been working on something positive, like a new business, which I know these things were under a pandemic, so it's a little bit harder to take action in the things that we're used to, okay? But you can work, and you are supposed to be working on yourself. And you were able to get that message if you saw my first video of the year talking about the energy of new and what to do between the month of March and June, which was to use this period, this moment of isolation, of retrieval, of being quarantined, okay, to go within. The consequence of that work, hopefully, is what comes about in the month of July all the way to September. If instead you've been harvesting anger, resentment, just like negative energies, hate, then that also will play out very soon. The consequences of that will play out very soon if you haven't already been feeling it, because again, it's end of June. In the scale of the pandemic, I can't avoid speaking about the pandemic. yes, you will see the consequences, and we've already been seeing it, of what it is to be not well protected, whatever that means. Not taking care of ourselves, so exposing ourselves to the virus. Yes, the consequences of joining protest during a pandemic, of going to rallies during a pandemic, to gather in big groups when we're being told that a virus is contagious, and in order to keep our health, we should remain distant. So the consequences of that also really heightens in the beginning in the month of July. Going back into what's happening here in the US, but really globally. I talked some about the pandemic, and I'm asking right now, is there anything else that needs to be mentioned? Yes. So here's the thing. I've been noticing it is very clear that a lot of people are harvesting anger. And I think it's very clear when you watch the news, or at least when I log into social media, it's like, it's so intense, especially for sensitive people. And it's coming from all directions and from all different kinds of views. So it's not a political thing, and it isn't a spiritual thing either, those who are awake or not. It really isn't. And they want to talk about this anger. What's most important here is asking ourselves, why are we angry? So we're being told there is a virus that's very contagious, and it's new as far as the kind of or the type of coronavirus. And there are a lot of people who believe this is either fake, or the intensity of it may be fake. Regardless if it is real and as intense as they say it is or not. Regardless if social distancing and even being quarantined, staying at home and distant from our loved ones or from work, keeps us safer as personally and as a country or not. Regardless if the masks keep us safe or not, or keep us sick, or if there is conspiracy to make us wear these masks, whether it is to keep us sick or to take away our rights or not. So regardless of what your belief system is, it isn't about that. It is about the anger that a lot of us keep within about these topics, or about our opinions, or about the truths that we think we know. So what they're saying is, it doesn't matter if the virus is fake or real. It doesn't matter if it's very contagious or not. It doesn't matter if the masks work or not. Why are you so angry? And why are you so judgmental? There's so much judgment towards another person's different opinion. And that's the question that is most important out of this whole video, and the biggest lesson that you can get here. Whenever you read a headline, watch the news, read somebody else's post that goes against what you believe in, and you start to feel that, I can't believe this person feels this way, or I can't believe they're telling us this, or this isn't true, or this isn't real. So when you notice that come in, check and see what is this energy, like this uneasy feeling, and where is it coming from within ourselves? And then ask yourselves, that emotion, by the way, that energy needs to come out, because that's what later on bursts. Okay. And we're going to talk about darkness, and I can't forget about that, but I'll go back to that. So then asking, why am I angry? Why am I feeling this way? Why does this upset me? Why does this get to me? Why do I feel like turning off the news? So the answer to that question is what's most important. And don't stop there. This angers me because people are so stupid. Then ask yourself, why do I get angry when people are so stupid? Because I can't stand them. Why can't you stand stupid people? Because you have to go further and deeper in than just, I'm angry and I can't stand it and I can't believe them, or they're dumb, or so it has to go deep, deep, deep. And you have to be honest with yourself, and you'll realize that you're not angry. Turning off my phone. You're not angry at another human being. What you are is holding within yourself emotions that you've picked up along the way and that need to be healed. So you're given the opportunity here through all the issues that are happening. And yes, there's a virus and a pandemic. And yes, we're attempting to finally put out there the issues of racism. And also go and look at your personal life. So what's going around with your family, with your job, with your co-workers, with our children, with each other, within ourselves. Why do I get so angry at, I don't know, my husband, or when my husband does this, or when my children, I don't know, create a mess in the house? Why do I get so upset? So this will be one of your biggest, not just lessons, but your biggest healing for 2020. If you take the opportunity, because it is an opportunity, this is one of the biggest lessons for 2020, to heal, to finally release and let go. And also pay attention to your judgments. So why does a person's different point of view than yours angers you? Why does it upset you? Because they're so stupid, they're so dumb, they don't know. Wake up, people. Or so the energy or the emotions behind your thoughts and your ideas is what needs to heal. And we all need to just simmer down some and realize that we are all one, and that we can get through this with love, and instead of showing or exploding or releasing our anger, loving each other and embracing each other. There is no way ever that anger, hate, resentment, any negative energy or any negative emotion will ever bring the outcome of love or peace. Okay? So we're not going to solve the pandemic with these outbursts of negative energy. And this touches upon as well the issues of racism and inequality. We're not ever going to solve those issues coming from a place of hurt and pain. Because in reality, these energies of anger, hate, these outbursts come from a place of pain. What you will probably answer when you're asking yourself all these questions, you'll get to a place where you were hurt. And that pain and that hurt were never healed. And it needs to heal. And you have the opportunity now in 2020 to heal that pain specifically. It usually is one event that caused a lot of pain, but in a lot of occasions is an accumulation of life experiences that have caused you pain and hurt. That whenever they're not resolved, turn into anger and judgment and fear. And then when the energy of action comes, you act upon that fear, that resentment, that pain, that hurt. And you're not even aware of where it even comes from. And being reminded to talk about something else, a different kind of energy that I myself don't see the importance of it right now, but they're asking to talk about it, so it must be relevant, especially going forward. And I'm getting an affirmation or confirmation about that. Aside from all these different energies, there's also a bigger energy in the background, and it's the energy of truth. And the energy of truth began really 5-6 years ago, but it was very subtle, it was very soft. And then 4 years ago, it got stronger. It was kind of like a bam. The energy of truth. So if you yourself could look into your personal life, what that looked like. Have you been searching for truths? Have you had a secret that needs to come out and you've been thinking about coming out? If you are ready to let go of things. So this is the energy of truth. Things are coming out into light. Our darkness is being brought out into light. So it's no surprise that the issues of inequality are coming about or are being talked about during this time. And I'm asking right now, how long does the truth energy stays in the universe? And they're talking about 8 to 10 years. So there's still more truth to come out. One of the largest energies we had before 2020 was the abuse or inequality for women or against women. And very importantly, the sexual abuse or the kind of injustices that women have to go through as females of this energy, as feminine energies. Because remember, we are all one. Women just represent that feminine energy. And then a little bit, it was a very short period of time where globally the energy was to bring light about into or of child or children abuse. There's gonna be a lot more about that coming up soon. So there's gonna truths about what's happening to children who are missing or children abduction and child abuse. That's gonna, it already kind of like showed itself, kind of goes away. Well, it's gonna come back. But anyway, what they're trying to say is that a lot of things are coming into the light. A lot of darkness is being brought out into the light, and the universe wants growth and is saying, deal with this now, or wake up, deal with this now. About our personal lives, because I'm talking about global events or events here that are happening here in the US. But in our personal lives, review your life and see if truths have come out, whether they're yours personal or the people around you. You've been made aware of truths. If you yourself have woken up to something, if you yourself have a truth, have a secret that needs to come out, the universe's energy, the current energy that we're in, supports you. It supports your coming out. And I mean that if you are gay, trans, or if you, whatever secret you may have, it is safe for you to speak up and say your truth. And when I mean safe, it doesn't mean that there will be chaos about your truth, because there very well may be, but in the end, everything is going to be okay. More than anything, you yourself are going to feel better. You're growing. So it's a positive thing. So anyway, that's the energy of June, July, August, all the way to September, when we come into the new in September, only to go through the shakeups again in December, then new again in February. I'm asking what does the end of the year looks like, and I'm not getting a definite response right now. And as soon as I get that, I'll be making a new video. I'm asking because I know that you want to know a lot more about the virus. And the question I get is, how do we make this virus go away? How do we make this pandemic go away? To start with that answer, viruses are not necessarily something bad. Viruses work like any other pathogen to accomplish or fulfill our life purposes. So think of what's the purpose then of COVID-19. And then the answer to that is, what am I currently going through? What am I experiencing in my life? And that's your purpose for COVID-19. You want to make this go away? You want to make this be a little bit softer or less intense? Or you want to start releasing it, letting it go so that we can move on to something new? Then what you need to do is work on all these issues that I mentioned already in this video, and start thanking the universe for this energy and saying, I hear you loud and clear, and I am working towards releasing all the pain, all the hurt, tuning in to create the life I want to make or fulfill my life purpose. Hearing you loud and clear, therefore it is okay for you to go. I am grateful for all the life experiences. I'm grateful for all the messages, because COVID-19 comes with a loud message. And I release you. I release you. I release you. I want to end this video by saying my condolences to anyone who may have lost someone this year. A huge hug and a huge kiss, and just all my love to anyone who may be having a hard time this year. It's not an easy year, but stay optimistic, stay loving, focus on healing, focus on growth, and knowing and understanding the cycle of life, which is to come, live, experience, learn, release that which no longer serves us, and eventually transcend. My love goes out to everyone. See you soon as I hear about a new energy. Bye-bye.